As you can see, I don't have my cards out today because we're not doing a reading. I thought that it would be a good time to introduce some other topics to my channel, and so today we're going to be talking about how to communicate with a loved one that's passed away, and we're going to talk a little bit about angel numbers. I know that, at least for people I know in my life, that losing somebody can be really hard, and I know a lot of people are probably interested in learning more about how you can connect with this person now that they're gone. And so, like I always say, this might resonate with some people and not with others. So this is just my experiences, what I've learned and what works for me. But if you have different belief systems and you don't agree with something I say, that's totally fine. What I'm saying is not fact-based. It's what works for me, what I've learned. And really with spirituality, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. So you kind of have to just take bits and pieces of things that resonate. So, with regards to communicating with someone who's passed away, I think one of the most important things that you can start off by doing is simply ask. I think that a lot of people, at least I was too, are under the impression that, when somebody passes away, they're just going to come to you. They're just going to try and communicate, and it's just going to be like this big thing. But the reality is that you have to ask. You have to put it out there that you're setting the intention to have that experience happen, right? So, asking is the first step, but also understanding that it's not going to happen in a crazy way. I think for some people it might, but for a lot of people it's much more subtle the ways in which people and spirits who've passed away try and communicate with us. But what's really important too is raising your frequency. So when somebody passes away, their frequency automatically raises because they are out of the human experience. They're not in the body anymore. They're just a soul. They're just a spirit. So the spirit realm vibrates at a much higher frequency than us, meaning that, spirits are up here and we're down here. So in order for us to meet, it takes a significant amount of work for a spirit to come down and slow their frequency to meet us at our level so that we can communicate with them. So by raising your frequency, you're making it easier for somebody to, keep saying somebody, but a person that you're trying to communicate with that has passed over, to meet you halfway. Things that you can do to raise your frequency. So this would be things like meditating, having a healthy diet, sleeping well, doing creative things, anything, singing, dancing, anything to move your energy in that way. That really does help. But, there is no step-by-step guide on how to do this. I think that the intention of wanting to communicate with somebody already shows that you have an open mind into receiving what might come to you. It's really important, though, that I do say, do not use Ouija boards. Please do not think that that is the way to communicate with somebody who's passed over. You just don't know what kind of energy you're opening yourself up to. That can be incredibly scary. It can bring in some really negative, bad things. So please don't use a Ouija board. There's much more safer ways to talk to people who have passed over. So in my experience and what I've learned, a lot of times when a spirit or a person is trying to communicate with somebody, they do so through dreams. They do so through songs, through symbols, even through your own gut feelings. So it's not going to be this gigantic, oh my God, this person came to me, I can see them, and we had a conversation. Like I said, I'm sure for some people that has been their experience, but for the majority, it's going to be these little things, these little coincidences and stuff that you're just like, wow, that's really weird. So a lot of times spirits will try to come to people in their dreams because when you're resting, you're much more open and they don't have to do as much work to get in to communicate with you. A lot of times people will have dreams about people who've passed away and they're like, well, it just felt so real. And the reason why it felt so real was because they're actually visiting you. And usually dreams that feel that real, you can tell they're different than your every night dreams. So pay attention to dreams, but also songs. Like if you and this person had special songs together, hearing them on the radio, hearing them at certain places. That's all very important, and that's how that person's trying to communicate with you. You know, I think that being open to receive is just a big part of it, you know, trusting that you'll receive the signs that you're looking for. And I know it can be hard for people because they don't want just a song, and they don't want just this, like, they want to feel the person, they want to connect with them, but you have to start small and you have to open yourself up for that. Because if you're not ready and you just dive right into it, you know, you can have some very scary experiences. I know for me personally, like, I had done something where I was in a class setting and we were doing a group meditation, and we were helping spirits cross over who might have had trouble. And I had an experience that I definitely wasn't prepared for, but that I thought I was. So, like, I opened myself up and I'm like, great, come to me, like, I'll help you cross over. And, you know, never having a spirit enter your space before, it can be really scary. It causes, for me, it was a lot of anxiety. Like, all of a sudden I was just felt like I was the person. And, you know, I won't go into too much detail, but it was super traumatizing for a while. And what I've learned is, you know, you have to start small. Simply by asking the universe or this person out loud or in your head, please show me X, Y, Z, so that I know that you're with me. You know, and this could be certain symbols that you guys have, or you could pick a symbol. Like, you could say, you know, please show me, I don't know, a red Jeep. And then you look for red Jeeps. And I know that sounds like meaningless and like, well, anybody, you know, red Jeeps are everywhere. So if that's how you feel, pick something that's more rare. Pick a symbol that meant something to you guys, you know? So it's a lot easier than people think to connect with loved ones that have passed over, but it can be frustrating because I know some people struggle with it. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. There's just so many factors, you know? The person might have trouble communicating with you because they've not crossed over to a place where they can come back down, or they don't even know that they have passed away yet. Like, if this is a recent death, sometimes souls struggle to come to terms with that and to move forward. They're still trying to hang on to their earth life. So there's a lot of factors that play into it. But like I said, you have to ask. You have to be willing to open up to the signs that could be right in front of you. If you guys have a date that's special to you, things like that. I do think that going to a medium can help facilitate communicating with a loved one, and it definitely does, but I also feel that you can communicate with them and have your own special bond without having to go through somebody else. I think that that minimizes our ability to open up and receive as beings. You know, it gets easier as time goes on to recognize the signs, but at first, I feel like if you're not trusting, you can look at it as just like another coincidence, or that's not really a big deal. And that might be so for some people, but in terms of all this stuff and spirituality, there's no such thing as coincidences. You know, there's no such thing as like, oh, that was weird. Like, I truly believe that there's deeper meaning in like everything. You know, that's just what I believe. But that's the thing. So, you know, going off of that, going off of numbers and symbols is angel numbers. A lot of people, I think, see that I post a lot on my social media about repeating numbers because I see them constantly. And I'm very in touch with the angelic realm. I love working with them. I think that they're amazing. I think it feels good. A lot of times when I do readings, I do it from an intuitive and a psychic level, but other times I'll open it up to the angelic realm too. So angel numbers are any sort of repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, so on and so forth. So although the number like 11 still holds a frequency that means something, it's just that 111 is like a step further. So it's kind of like getting that message across even more so. But I can also put up a picture in this video of all the angel numbers and a quick little message about what they mean. Once you start learning about angel numbers and once you're like interested, they're going to show up everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. License plates, times, prices, menus, like, I mean everywhere. I just like, the limit doesn't exist. And at first it's probably gonna be like, oh, well, that's kind of weird, like whatever. But then like all of a sudden you're just like, oh my god, like I just saw 222 like 7 times in a row. Like it's everywhere. And that's because your angels are trying to get messages across to you, and they're trying to get you to see like, I'm here, like hello. But I think that a lot of people have this misconception about angels, maybe because of religion and other things. And like I said, everyone has their own belief system, but angels, they're not like this figure like you see that come down, their energy. And everybody has angels that are assigned to them. You know, you have a set of guides and guardians that are always watching over you. It's like your own personal spirit team, and every single person has one. Whether or not they communicate with them is one thing, but everybody has them. But the thing about angels is that they respect free will. So they're not going to interrupt your everyday life, and they're not going to do crazy things unless you ask. You know, they're going to be there, but you have to ask. So a lot of times when I start my day, I'll be like, I'd like to ask my guides and guardians to please step forward, and my angels, and please support me through my day. It's something as simple as that, and honestly, it makes a difference. It really does. But the thing is, you have to ask your angels for help. Like, if you want help with a situation, if you want to be shown something, ask. A lot of times if I'm looking for information on something, like, yes, I will pull cards, but a lot of times I like to pose a question to my angels. I'll be like driving and I'll ask the question, and within a few minutes I'll see on a license plate a certain number. That number means something, and I know it's just them reminding me of little things that I need to know. So, you know, that's also what I wanted to bring up. So sometimes when we have loved ones that pass away, they can choose to be a part of our spirit team and be a guide and guardian to us, which is really cool. And that kind of intertwines with seeing repetitive numbers being your angels, but also being assigned from a loved one. So say like you had a specific number that meant something to you guys, and you start seeing that number everywhere. That's your person trying to communicate with you, trying to tell you that they're still here, you know, doing little things. So the difference between an angel and somebody who's passed away is that an angel respects your free will and isn't going to, you know, give you these signs without you asking specifically, at least in the beginning. So, but a person who's passed away might try to put these little signs all throughout your life so that you notice, so that you can say, oh my God, they are here with me. But it's a, you know, it's a touchy subject. I know that some people get really upset because they don't feel that connection with that person, or they did at one point and don't anymore, and that can be so frustrating. So you have to be patient with yourself, because there is no like surefire way to be able to communicate with somebody. I think though, having an interest in doing it, even in the, like, and being open to trying new things is a great start, you know. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that everybody can start channeling their angels. No, angels are great though, and they're not like what you think they are, or maybe they are, but for me they weren't. And my life has been so different since I've opened up to all this stuff, and I don't know, I really honestly don't know what I'd do without it, because, you know, knowing that I have and feeling that I have these beings that support me every day, like, it's just so different. Like, you never really feel alone, like, no matter what you do, and you always feel like you're being guided and helped. And, you know, I think it comes at the perfect time in your life when you're ready for it. But my main points: don't use a Ouija board, ask, be open to receiving, look for repetitive numbers, look for songs, look for symbols, look for gut feelings. You know, sometimes when something happens and it's like in the blink of an eye, you're like, whoa, I just like got this feeling to do this, or I shouldn't do that. Listen to that, because that is somebody up there trying to help you. So I hope that made sense to you guys, and I hope that was helpful. I'm going to try and do more of these videos, just kind of sharing different tools and things like that on topics that might interest you. But I will continue to do readings as well. Um, so, yeah, I hope I hope you got something out of it. And I will be back soon with some more content. Thanks for watching.